Good morning, everyone. It's Rachael here at Ditch the Diet. How are you? I hope you've had a really good week so far. So today is day 3 of our No Diet December. My hair's a bit crazy today. If you're listening on the podcast, you obviously won't be able to see my hair. But if you are watching on Facebook Live, it's a bit mental. So third day in our series. If you haven't watched day 1 or day 2 yet, make sure you go back and do that. And same if you're listening on the podcast. Please make sure that you go back and listen to Monday and Tuesday's episode. So today I'm going to be talking about the way that we talk to ourselves at this time of year, but this doesn't just apply to this time of year. This sort of applies to you in general, but I think it's more rife at this time of year is probably the best way to explain it, I guess. And it's the way that we speak to ourselves and about ourselves. I talk about this quite a lot in the Ditch the Diet Academy, and it's something that people tell me that they do all the time. And it often starts first thing in the morning when you get up. You perhaps look in the mirror and you start pulling yourself apart. Can anyone relate to that? So if you're watching and you can relate to that, if you're listening and you can relate to that, let me know. This time of year we have lots of thoughts going through our mind about food, about exercise maybe, but mostly food probably. Perhaps you are saying things to yourself like, I shouldn't be eating that, or I can't believe I just ate that, or I shouldn't have drank that, or I'm such a fat pig for eating that, or other things like I am not good enough, or I feel guilty, or what's the point in even trying to be good? Again, air quotes for those that are listening on the podcast. What is the point in even trying to be good at this time of year? Lots of stuff going on, lots of words and phrases being used, lots of negative things used to describe yourself. And I think what I wanted to achieve today was just to come on just for a few minutes this morning and just say, look, this is not doing anyone any good, especially you. In fact, exclusively you. The way that you speak to yourself, the way that you talk about yourself at this time of year when it comes to the food that you're eating or the exercise that you're doing or the lack of exercise that you're doing, it's not productive to stand in front of a mirror and say that you are all of these horrible things. And again, going back to yesterday and going back to the topic of feeling guilty about what you're eating and trying to stop yourself from feeling guilty about what you're eating, it's important to know that you shouldn't have to chastise yourself for the choices that you're making at this time of year when it comes to food and exercise anyway. But even if you do hashtag overindulge or whatever that actually means, or eat past the point of fullness, or eat things that you wouldn't normally eat, or if you're in the office and there's a box of celebrations open, then like if you can't manage to walk past them without taking some, then we have to just manage the voice that's going on in our head. You're not weak, you're not stupid, you're not worthless because you couldn't walk past a box of celebrations in the office without having one. If you haven't listened to the episode, yesterday's episode, or watched yesterday's episode about releasing yourself from food guilt, then go back and listen to that because I talk about that in a lot more detail. But today I want you to really focus on listening to the voice that's inside your head and listen to what it's actually saying to you and try to change that narrative. So just listen. Are you saying horrible things to yourself? Are you calling yourself horrible names? What are the thoughts that are going through your mind when it comes to food? All of these kinds of things. I want you to really think about that and just know that not just at this time of year, at any time of year, it's important that you cut yourself some slack and release yourself from these horrible things that you're saying about yourself. Negative self-talk is one of the biggest things that will hold you back in life when it comes to achieving what you want to achieve. Being kind to yourself, starting from now, is the first step that you can take to not just being kinder to your mind, but being kinder to your body as well. So just keep that in mind. Today, just have a little think about, how you talk to yourself. Could you speak to yourself any nicer? The things that you say to yourself, would you ever say that to someone else? So if you think about the things that you say to yourself about yourself, would you ever say that to someone else? And if the answer is no, then you should not be saying it to yourself either. You're not a bad person because you've had a mince pie or two. You're not all these horrible words I'm not even going to say, because you say them to yourself. I know that you say them to yourself. And I just want you to know that you can turn that around. So not just this time of year, but all year. Negative self-talk is not productive for anybody at any time. Right, that's you for today. My little snippet insight. I'll be back tomorrow with another instalment of No Diet December. I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you're enjoying listening. I hope you're getting something out of it. If you are, please share either the video or the podcast episode with someone that you think might benefit from listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I will see you tomorrow.